8-bit breakdown.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to 8-Bit Breakdown. Once again, I am Kevin Moore, aka Kevin, with my very famous, sexy co-host, partner in crime, Mike/M Fear. What's going on, man?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing today? It's been we had a little not hiatus, but we had a little break last week, so glad to be back at it again.
Yeah, the one thing that I really like about doing this is we can always kind of do it on our time. We're not big enough. We may never get there to the point where people are expecting us to put these things out. But I will tell you one thing, just in case we get to like episode 100 or 200 or whatnot. Family's always going to come first. And I'm going to turn that off. Oh, there we go. Hey, what's up, man? Family's always going to come first. I mean, that's going to be number one for me. And my brother was in town, and just a lot going on at work. But yeah, it's been great, man. But I really missed you, even though I saw you.
Yeah, you finally got to see my house. We haven't personally seen each other in a while. It was good.
It was nice to touch you and smell your musk.
Oh yeah, I did wear musk. I did.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We're going to try to run through what we're going to be talking about here in a minute. But Mike, like always, what are you listening to? But we're going to combine this. What are you listening to, and what are you playing in 3 words or less?
3 words or less. Oh, man.
All right, so I'm listening to...
I mean, right now I'm listening to... So you were over here and you heard it, but I've been hooked on Queensryche. Like... since you came over here, man, I've literally been listening to Operation Mindcrime just on repeat. I don't know, something about that album, man. It's
a classic, dude.
It's like a rock opera. I mean, for those that don't know Queensryche, which I'm sure many of you have, but it's like a rock opera style like narrative that's about this like drug addicted kid that turns into like an assassin on the streets and like gets caught. They end up like there's a lot of depth to it, man. It's really good though. It's really interesting. I mean, a lot of those albums back in the day, it's just very like had a lot of depth made in all these guys, like storytelling, which is.
My dad said that Queensryche is the knockoff Judas Priest and Iron Maiden.
Did he?
He did. I mean, this was back in like the 90s, but yeah. What about playing? What are you playing, man?
You already know, bro. Schedule 1. I think half the population on PC is playing that game right now.
Dude, it really is. It's funny because there was a Game Ranks who I watch, I follow, and I listen to all those guys. Great group of guys. If you haven't listened to them, Game Ranks release some of the best stuff. Falcon cracks me up. Never seen the guy ever, but his voice is just so unique. But yeah, they just put out a video that said, what was it, like 2 days ago? The drug crime sim you've never played or you've never heard of before. And so it was like, yeah, bro, never heard of? Like, are you kidding? It's like the most popular game right now.
It is. It is, man.
It's a wild game, man.
It's that whole like, it's like just for one guy to develop this game. I mean, he's absolutely crushing it. I mean, if you guys don't know what Schedule 1 is by now, for those,
we talked about it. We
definitely talked about it.
Oh, we streamed it.
We did stream it.
Right.
So you guys can, if you haven't seen it, you can definitely pull up the stream of that. It's pretty fucking goofy, but
yeah, it's fun, man. It's a great game. It's definitely fun to play with friends. It's like
GTA meets Stardew Valley.
Just calming. It can be calming. Like, it doesn't have to be stressful at all. You can make it.
There's a very calming aspect to
time. There is, and it's something about the mini games in it are actually really fun. I really
Mhm.
think that's what appeals to me. I'm like, dude, I love like the mini games, like the bagging bud. I never thought would be as much fun as that. And
Yeah.
then you do it
Yeah.
a million times and you get really tired of it, and you're like, I need to save money to upgrade for
You
the
need the
better,
better mixer, and
the
then
better.
you gotta make some meth.
Oh yeah, taking the hammer to the meth is really fun too.
That's fun. Picking up garbage could never be more fun.
Well, I'll tell you,
Picking
Mike.
up cigarette butts.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna start with what I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I was gonna run through the entire Doom, um,
Mm-hmm.
the catalog, Doom 64, Doom 2016, and then Doom Eternal. And I told you I'd play the Ancient Gods. Well, sir, I am on Ancient Gods Part One, and
Mm.
holy shit,
Yeah.
it's not non-stop carnage.
It's
Like
insane. Yeah.
there's no slow times in the Ancient Gods DLCs. It's
No,
one
there's
room,
not.
you murder a million enemies, you go into a next room, there's an armor pickup, and there's another million enemies. Like there's no slowing in that. And I love it. I couldn't love it more. So thank you for forcing me to play this. It's great.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
And
I'm glad you got it.
and then I mean it really it's getting me really excited for Dark Ages, I can tell you that. The
I'm
but what
so
I'm listening
pumped.
to, I think you might know because I talked about it before we started recording. So I picked up, and I don't know why I was sleeping on it for so long. And Mike, you gotta get off it, and everybody else who hasn't heard this album. Late January, by a small group called All That Remains, came out with Anti-Fragile, and
Small group.
dude, talk about like their first single, Divine, came out, and I was like, oh yeah, they're going back to their original like '06, like '06 The Calling and stuff like that. And oh dude, that album, it I feel like it brings me back to that time. And it's just
Yeah.
I've been watching videos, kind of went down a rabbit hole, which most people do when they hear a band that they haven't listened to in a while. And dude, I gotta tell you, man, Phil sounds better now than he did 20 years ago. Like, dude, the guy can fucking sing, man. Like, what a vocalist. And
Oh,
Jason
yeah.
Richardson is just God, I mean, R.I.P. Ollie. I mean, dude, that guy was a beast, but dude, Jason just shreds. Man just plays Pokemon off stage, and then he just gets on stage and just shreds better than 99% of guitarists in the world right now. But yeah, so that is what I am. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm playing and listening to. So, Mike, I have been going in my head trying to figure out how we would describe this, uh, this how this podcast is going to go. So, if you guys can't see, Mike has a fun sleep token background for our audio listeners. Mike has a sleep token background, and I have a Bloodborne background. Well, Mike and I were discussing about a week or two ago. We said, he was talking about sleep token, and I told him I just couldn't get into it. And then I was like, you know what? This kind of reminds me of like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Like I've talked to you about it numerous times, and you keep saying you can't get into it, and I'm just wondering why. So the premise of this is we want to discuss why we like these things, and it's really good because that's the whole point of this podcast, right? To bring gaming and music together. I mean, you couldn't have a better discussion than this, in my opinion. And so we're going to kind of talk a little bit about what these things mean to us, whether these mediums, what they really mean to us, as far as like the passion that we have for them, and why we kind of have the passion that we have for them. And we're going to kind of discuss one or the other. So Mike, did you want to start? Did you want me to start? What do you want to do? You tell me.
What's up? I want to. I've done my
Mikasa es tu
bragging.
casa.
I've done my bragging of
Oh, dude, I
sleep token.
I got this for you.
Ooh.
When was the last
Look at
time you've
that.
seen one of these?
Yeah, to our audio listeners, I'm witnessing a 40 in this man's hands right now. It's been a while. It's been
Cheers,
a while
dude.
to that.
Here, I'll let you talk. I'm probably gonna burp like a storm with this.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Yeah. 40 in one hand for you, and gentleman like over here with my bourbon as always. Fucking sloth. No, I'm just kidding. Um, no, dude, I like what that's we're not trying to do what you got there. It looks like a high life potentially.
Oh, are we gonna get? Can we get endorsements?
No, but I think
Dude,
we
it's
can at least
cold.
say we
Ice cold.
we don't have to say the company name, but I think that's high life.
HL. It's like
Yeah.
Half-Life, but spelled differently.
Yeah, that's right. Gabe Newell's going to sue us now too.
Oh shit! Yeah, I can't say that.
Where can we go with this? I mean, for me, Sleep Token's been a gradual. To me, it's something that grew on me. I first heard them. Trying to think now. It's probably been a couple years since I've been listening to them. So I first heard them before the album Take Me Back to Eden came out. So there was a bunch of singles that started coming out, and it just started popping up on YouTube. And
when was this? Because they've been around for a while. Not a long time, but they've been around for a while.
yeah, so I mean, they came out in like 2000. Well, I don't say came out, but I think, if I'm not mistaken,
16?
like 18 or 19.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
still
but
relatively new.
They made it, I think that was their albums at least, and don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure their album came out in like 18 or 19. They might have had some like an EP or a couple singles before that. And then This Place Will Become Your Tomb was like the second album. That was like 2021.
Dude, I like the name of that album.
Oh yeah.
I've never heard the name of that. That's actually that's a sick ass album name.
Oh yeah. No, it's sick. And then Take Me Back to Eden was 2023. It's about when I started picking up into them, and I'm pretty sure, like, I heard the name. I heard, it was through the grapevine sort of thing. It's like, oh, these guys are going to be something, and I just paid it in mind. Then I heard The Summoning, which is like probably their biggest song right now. I think like on Spotify alone, there's like 250 million views or listens from that song. And I heard it and I was like, okay. And for me, I like progressive metal and stuff like that. I like Tool a lot. So there was elements to it that had some of that like progressive aspect to it. But it was a little bit, like heavier. And it's like I wanted to get into it, but I was like, it just didn't strike me off the bat. And I was like, wait a minute. I want to go back and listen to that again. And then I listened to it again and I'm like, oh. And I'm like, okay. And then I started noticing things about it. And then I listened to it again. And I listened to it again. And then other songs come on. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like slowly but surely there was like a part of me that at first was like, eh. And then something just kept drawing me back to it. I was just like, I don't know what it is about this band. I mean, don't get me wrong, and I know a lot of people slam them. They're like, oh, they different metal outlets bring them up like this ain't metal. Like it's truly to the. I mean, I don't think you can put a genre to say it's metal on Sleep Token. While they do have heavy elements, and I think that's why they kind of get thrown into the metal category, quote unquote. But there's just so much dynamic to the band, and it's so unique that I can't say I've heard any other band do. And if they have done it, so fluidly, like where we're taking elements of R&B, metal, rock, almost like dream pop in some instances. Just all, and they do it just like this genre mashup of where it takes you through like these peaks and valleys of this like story essentially that's been building up. And that's the other thing that drew me into it was once I started listening to albums, then I realized there's this whole damn story, like from the first album up to like where we're at right now with Take Me Back to Eden, that I got sucked into of like this lore that I started realizing, I'm like, oh wait, this is like the story. And I started listening from front to back and reading and realizing like that it's so deep, man. Like, and then so all of this combined just has thrown me into this super appreciation for these guys that, while I won't say is like, I have my love of serious metal, but then we can throw these guys, I guess, into this quote unquote category of heaviness that, but also has these other dynamics to it. But yeah, I mean, without tangenting too much, it's kind of where I ended up, landing with these guys. They become one of a top favorite right now.
The stuff that I've heard reminds me a lot of Typo Negative. I feel like Typo Negative had that like gothic, dark, albeit sexual, that feel to it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, and it's not my cup of tea. We've talked about that, but there's a lot. It seems like a little less off the sexual stuff, and more about like passion, from what I hear. I think Vessel, is a great songwriter. From what if he's the one that's writing, the whole band's there. I don't know if he's the one.
Yeah, he does all of the writing. Yeah.
Great songwriting, but so to me it kind of reminds me of Typo Negative. Now, were you big into Typo Negative?
I really wasn't. I mean, don't get me. There's some songs like, Bloody Kisses was a good album. I never really heavily got into them though. I guess it was a little too. I mean, that whole like industrial. I mean, it was good stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, but not something I found myself.
Yeah, industrial goth.
Yeah,
that's really kind of what it was. Peter Steele, man.
I mean, Peter, he was. Those guys, they brought something to the table for sure. But I never cross
my girlfriend's girlfriend. He looks like you. And I don't want to say that. It's just that's kind of what it reminds me of. But it sounds nothing like anything that's out right now. I mean, Sleep Token doesn't sound like anything. Like, they have elements of all this other stuff, but to me, in my mind, I'm like, dude, these guys have no idea what the hell they want to be.
Yeah,
and again, but that's the difference.
That's what it is. Yeah.
But you can dissect it. Like, you can put these puzzle pieces together and make something of it. Me, I'm just like, dude, okay.
I think maybe that's what turns a lot of people off, is just that, there's this expectation, especially being like, a metalhead, and you hear Sleep Token. It's like, oh, like all these other people that listen to metal and metal blogs talking about them, then you listen to it, wait, what? And you hear these like massive genre shifts between, again, like something that sounds, atmospheric, potential like love elements, R&B. What's it? One of the new songs they just did recently had like kind of a like a reggaeton like beat to it, and before it gets like heavy, so it's interesting, and it's like, yeah, it's like caramel, man. Like it's I don't think you've heard it, but it's pretty interesting. But yeah, I think it's just this, these, in my opinion, like unforgettable grooves that they end up like putting in there, and these crazy massive genre shifts that tells this cryptic metaphoric journey of this like ancient deity named Sleep that Vessel's essentially, the singer, is being led on to follow, and then realizes how much it's personally destroying him. This potential metaphoric aspect of love and addiction and like self-discovery, where it's like this battle of love and hate, like something he can't get away from that keeps drawing him back, that uses and abuses him, sort of situation, but he can't stop, like essentially like loving it no matter what. But it starts to shift through these albums, and without tangenting too much about it, it just you start seeing this shift in dynamic of what was from the first album, this like this affection for this like thing that he like absolutely could not get enough of, to the second, where he's like, it's beating him down, but he's still taking it. almost borderline eating him alive, to this shift of like Take Me Back to Eden, where it's like, okay, I've come to my senses that, you've used and abused me, and I think I'm slowly detaching myself from you rather. But there's still this like, where it seems like sleep itself is almost weakening, that he's becoming, more self-aware that he doesn't need this deity anymore, but there's still this like inching back into the want and need, like both of them wanting and needing each other. And I think that's where this new album is going to play a new aspect into that. So, and again, it's the storytelling aspect really sold it for me.
You said something kept pulling you in. You heard it a couple times years ago. Excuse me. You heard it a couple times years ago. Something kept pulling you back in. Would you say it was the story and the lore that was pulling you in, or is it like you just kept learning things? Like because I don't think anybody, like anyone in our friends group, had listened to him at all. I think it was just you.
So coincidentally or not, and actually I talked to him a little bit the other day, and he said, yeah, I heard you guys are doing a podcast. I said, you should check it out. But our friend Corey showed me The Summoning, and he said, check these guys out, I think you might like it. And I was like, all right. And I listened to it, and I was like, and that's kind of what kicked it off. And like, we talked briefly about it. I do too, man.
I need to text him. I really need
give him a text.
I'll shoot him a text.
But yeah, we talked recently about it. I said, dude, I'm addicted to Sleep Token now. It's like, your fault. But no, and he was like, to be honest, he was like, I've heard like the one or two songs, but he's like, I haven't delved deep into it. I said, oh dude, I'm deep in the rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all, I guess he heard it and was like, oh, this is pretty cool, and like just send me the song. That's kind of what spawned it. But to answer your question, I think what drew me back was, I guess, this like healing feeling, like where it's almost like I'm peeling back layers, like hearing things that I haven't heard before in the music, coupled with the aspect of learning more about the lore, then re-listening to the songs and hearing like the explanation and the depth of like this build up to where we're at through these last three albums going into the fourth album of this whole journey, and like how explosive and almost melancholy in some aspects the first album was, the second one being a little bit more melodic, and then this like explosive, crazy, diverse, genre shifting pattern of like almost chaotic in a way, where I feel like really fits the narrative of the story at this point too. So it seems like the narrative of the story also fits like the elements of the lore. Like it's based on the three albums kind of all sound a little bit different. Granted, they do sound similar. I mean, it's Sleep Token, but there are these shifts, I guess we could say, where the first one's can have some explosiveness to it. The second one's a little bit more ambient. The Take Me Back to Eden's a little bit more all over the place with genre shifting, and the overall story at this point also is chaotic. So it's like it all fits together like in this weird way, and that's kind of been the learning experience.
So the music is matching the story.
Indeed, yeah.
Because I was gonna say, because you said they were Sleep Token, you made a comment where you're like, they put out another album, it's Sleep Token, and would you say that they're evolving as the albums go, or do you think that the story, because the story matches the music, they have to match the story? Does that make sense? Because like evolving means like getting better as a band, which I think every band's going to do, but like you're changing something, you're changing an element every single time to be a better band. You want to sound tighter, you want to do this, you want to change. Whereas like their whole storyline it sounds like it's based on change.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like a forcible thing. I don't foresee it being that. I just think it's them growing as a band and learning. And it seems like, not to discredit the first couple albums, because they are really good, but it seems like the the story that they've been telling, and I don't know if it's like, you know pre-planned or whatever all along, but or maybe just a continuation of like from the first, like, all right, so this is what we're going to talk about in the next album. But I feel like the storytelling's gotten better, along with them having a more defined sound of like where they're at now. Like, this is the expectation of this, like, these different elements of like where we're at now, and them being better about blending them. And but I think this is just the evolution of them. I don't think it's planned for them to do this. I just think this is their sound, and the journey that they're taking listeners through, rather.
So with that, I'm going to talk about Dark Souls.
Yeah, man, and that's so now that I've broken down my aspect of where we're at, and I know we want to talk about kind of like this, as we described in the prior to show start, the almost parallels of where we want to go. But I do want to, me talking about Sleep Token, I want to hear more of what draws you to Dark Souls, because for me, that game pisses me off. And I mean, and don't get me wrong, and that's what I need to. We need to discuss more, because it's a game that just infuriates the hell out of me. I think it's a good. There's nothing about the mechanics that I don't like. I think it's really, the 2 hours I played of Elden Ring before I uninstalled it was really cool, and I think maybe if potentially giving it another chance, I think I just need to give it a chance. But I want to hear your story of like, Bloodborne, Dark Souls,
why I'm so fucking addicted to these.
Yeah,
and why
I know for
everybody
years,
else is.
From our famous game store years of working together. Like,
that was after our game store years, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just, it dates back for sure.
So I picked up, this all started back in 2009. It's 2008 or 2009. I think it was 2009. Demon Souls came out on the PlayStation 3. Went into our local game store, a different one that we did not work at. Knew the store manager there. Walked in and asked him, hey, anything good came out recently? And he shows me this. This game called Dark Souls. Dude, this is the 40 kicking in. Hold on real quick. Give me a...
Oh, man. 3 sips in. Done. Can't tell you, man.
Dude, I'm not going to be... Whew. It ain't my younger years. But,
hello.
So, I am thrice divorced. So, he showed me this game called Demon Souls. He said, great RPG. You're going to hate it, but push through it. You'll love it. That's all he said to me. I think his name was Nick. Great guy. Really great guy. Excuse me. And I went home and I put it in PlayStation 3, and I had no idea what the hell was going on. I didn't understand the controls. I didn't understand the concept of what was going on. Excuse me. And this was probably the last video game I actually looked at the instruction manual to figure out how to play it. I could have pulled it up online, but they had this at the time. This was like the last generation, I would say, of instruction manuals. Manual was thick, like it's thick, and
thick manual.
Like even the menu in the game, there's like, you've got crushing, you've got piercing, like weapons and like damage. So you have like crushing like hammers, you have piercing like rapiers, and you have slashing like swords. But they're all different symbols. There's no wording for it. It's symbols. So there's like a brand new like language in the game almost. And so I'm playing this, and I maybe play it for, oh man, a couple weeks. Didn't get really far into the game, kind of picked it up every now and then. I really tried it. And dude, I just couldn't. I couldn't get into this game. I was like, dude, I don't know how anybody can enjoy this. Like, I was fucking dying. I'm falling off cliffs that I'm like, dude, all these games that you play have, if you fall off a cliff, it either brings you back to where you were, you know, with albeit with a little bit less health, or there's like there's a fence, there's a boundary that you can't go over, like, you know, any good game would. Or there's like a hedge, like, what is it, like grass that you can't it won't let you like go across it. And I'm just like, dude, I can't play this game. So then, working at this other store that sells video games, a couple years later, Dark Souls comes out, and I pick that up for the Xbox 360. And dude, everybody's like, I'm seeing online, like, everybody's talking about how great it is. I'm like, oh my god, this is parallel to Demon Souls. Like, it's the same company. I think it's going to be the same thing.
What's the company again?
From Software. Yeah.
From Soft.
And I said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and try this game. You know, I'm going to try it again and see, you know, how it is. They updated a lot of stuff from Demon Souls. So, because that's what everybody was saying. It's like new quality of life, things like that. If that even fucking exists in these games, quality of life. But I played it, and I died, and I kept dying, and I was like, why am I doing this? Like, I know I can do better than this. And this is just one aspect of why I love this game. So the more I played it and the more I kept dying, the better I got. And I realized it reminded me a lot of growing up in the NES era when I was playing Mega Man games. Like, Mega Man is one of my favorite games of all time, like favorite series. You could take a shit, put it on a string, and burn a Mega Man fucking symbol in it, and I would buy it. Like, I mean, that's like my addiction, I would say, is Mega Man. And I realized, like, the more I fought these bosses, the more I fought these enemies, I realized it's a muscle memory. That's all it was. It was trial and error. It was muscle memory. Now, mind you, a lot of stuff in that game, like when you die, it'll piss you off. But the more I realized that I was dying because it was something that I was doing wrong. I was fucking up. It's not that the game's unfair. It's because I was doing something fucking stupid. Like, oh, dude, you get that boss down to one hit left, and you think you're just like, oh, I'm going to keep going. And then you die, and you're like, why did I die? I should have had it. It's like, well, no, I shouldn't have even done that. Like, I should have just waited. I should have been patient. Like the NES games of old taught us, Super Mario was the best thing in the world. It teaches you patience. That's what the whole game is. And I was like, after I learned that, I didn't care if I died anymore. Like, I realized that dying was an experience to get better, and I kept doing it. Next thing I know, I beat the fucking game. And then I'm talking to a guy that I work with. Come to find out, he played it, and we're talking back and forth, and he's like, oh yeah, did you go to this place or this place? I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, there's places in the game that I haven't been to? And then, dude, this whole other fucking world opens up. It's like brand new areas I didn't even know existed in the game. Like, so I beat this game, sunk, oh gosh, 50 hours into it, and then come to find out there was like 3 areas in the game I didn't even know existed. And then I started looking online, and I was like, oh my god, dude, there's even more. There's like things like I didn't see. There's secrets that I didn't get to. And I can't explain the feeling that those games give me, because it did it with that. Dark Souls 2, oh, that's the most heated of, that's an argument within the Souls community, by the way. Like, Dark Souls 2 is made by a separate, same company, but different not a different developer, different writer. And it was put together in a bed. It's like a boss mash. Like, there's like 100 bosses in Dark Souls 2. Like, it's just, you fight a boss, you go through a quick area, you fight another boss. Like, it's just back to back. It's a boss run.
Sounds like Elden Ring.
No, Elden Ring does it a lot better. It's fucking huge. Dark Souls 2 is like the community of Dark Souls have even like made like maps of how these games are supposed to look. Dark Souls 2 is like a castle is like connected to like a lava pit above it. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like the geography doesn't just exist at all in Dark Souls 2. They were like, how do you go from place to place? 'Cause you don't teleport. You use like elevators and doorways and things like that. So it's like you go from like this lava castle and then you go down and you go to like a cavern, but then you end up taking a boat to like a dragon peak that is really high up in the air. I don't know. It's really weird. Like that. Don't quote me on that. That's not really what it is, but what it doesn't make sense, dude. It's just all over the place. So then Dark Souls 3 comes out. Again, great game. And they just keep they not reinvent the wheel, but they just keep adding on to why it's so good. So then Bloodborne comes out. Bloodborne is going to be one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. That game blew me away. It's completely different from the Soul series, but it plays the same. Muscle memory, trial and error. That's why everybody says get good. It's because you have to persevere in order to be great at it. But in Sekiro and even down to Elden Ring, and I can't wait. Nintendo just announced the Switch 2. Tariffs suck, but they announced the Dusk Bloods, which is like pretty much looks like a Bloodborne 2. We're all excited.
I did see this, yeah.
Soulsborne community is fucking crazy about it right now. Yeah, we're excited. So, but the other thing that really has latched me onto these games after all these years is, and this is where the parallel I think of Sleep Token really comes in. Or where I think, where I kind of got that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a YouTuber actually out there. His name's Vatividya, VAATIVIDYA. I don't want to mess that up, but dude, this guy breaks down the stories of every single one of these Soulsborne games, and I'm pretty sure he has hundreds of thousands of followers. I mean, this guy is ridiculous. He's got a great soothing like English voice. Like he's just like, today we're going to be talking about, like, just a very, very soothing voice to listen to. But
it's always these Englishmen that do like
great.
the deep dives.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
But with all this being said about Dark Souls, the storyline is very minimal in the game. Excuse me. They don't hold your hand at all. They don't tell you the storyline in this game. You don't have like, you don't have narration on the screen that says like, it was the end of the world. You have a beginning intro that gives you a rough idea of what the game is about. Everything else in the story, you learn either the item descriptions, the weapon descriptions, talking to the NPCs that, gosh, are like creepy sometimes. They're like, it's very ASMR, like the way they talk. It's like, thank you for talking to me today. Like very...
Thank you for your trust.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry about that.
So I mean, in that regard, I guess the parallel there being this like mystery as identity, like sort of aspect where both, and for, Sleep Token, where it's this, I mean, here we go with I'm gonna say another band, but a band that has like this, anonymous aspect to them. We don't know who they are. It's this mythological almost background to their music, where you have Vessel worshiping this deity, and fans have, in theory, almost like built, which I can almost assume for Dark Souls, where it's not, there really isn't I feel like a lot of fans piece together the clues and the puzzles, the aesthetics to build the lore.
Same thing as all of these Souls games.
And that's what I'm saying. That's where Dark Souls.
There's so many like what if questions that there's just a tiny trace of evidence that proves all these other theories like incorrect, and the community has decided that, hey, this is the storyline that we're going with. And I think that's why I mentioned Vati Vidya, is because he really he takes all of that, dissects it all, and I couldn't even imagine the amount of information that this guy has, but he puts it together into a way where, I mean, one of the YouTube videos that I watched, the first one was a Dark Souls storyline, and just like the storyline of the first Dark Souls game. And I listened, I was like, holy fuck, that's why I'm doing all of this. That's why I did this. That's why I rang these bells. That's why I had to kill this guy. That's why I had to do this. And like, the more I learned, I had to go back and play it again. Like, I was like, I want to play it because I want to know, I want to have that feeling when I go beat this guy. And then you personally start seeing the clues, and you start hearing the clues, and you're like, holy shit, I never realized that. But that's why probably I love the game more now than I ever did, is because all of the games are like that. Give or take for Sekiro, that was a pretty self-explanatory game. But all of them were like that, man. Like, again, it doesn't hold your hand. And I think that's what Sleep Token does. I don't think they hold your hand at all. They give you these like clues, like Hansel and Gretel, like little fucking breadcrumbs. And you're just like, I gotta get to this fucking gingerbread house, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's just literally that's as you described that is, yeah. I fell into the trap of I don't go to it much because there's so much going on into it. But they have a Discord that's recently blown up, and it's insane. And so Sleep Token, and I guess the people super involved with them or close to them now, they do. They throw out crumbs where it's like, okay, here's this, or like a teaser or something.
Here's a little more, you bitches.
Dude, I'll have to show you in the off time, man. But there's like the spiral of just like the last two songs alone of like sending people through, like they did a teaser like website of like quote unquote like something's coming, something sort of thing. And it took people to figure out to like break down the website into like the HTML aspect of it. And within it, there's code in there. They finally figured out the code. It was like coordinates that led to this grave site with this cipher that hasn't been figured out for the last 200 years. And when you put those letters in order, it puts you to like a link that, and slowly but surely led you to finally say that Emergence, the first song. But yeah, I mean, it's with both. It's like this mystery isn't really part of the experience. It is the experience. Like with both.
Yeah, I agree. So, but I guess that's why. I think that's why I wanted to have this discussion. Why we kind of talked about it. Why don't I like Sleep Token, and why don't you like the Soulsborne games if they're so similar? Because I mean, you could tell me to listen to it, I just don't have the passion for it. And I could tell you to play Dark Souls and Elden Ring, you're just not gonna have the passion for it. But why do we trying to word this well, why do we feel so passionate about this? And how can we get each other to play the game and listen to Sleep Token? Because seriously, that's, everybody, I mean, I don't have anybody in my friends group that plays any of these Soulsborne games. Like, I mean, maybe Elden Ring, that was like the popular one, but come on, bro. Like, you could be,
our friend Meadows does. He loves.
Yeah, but Elden Ring, like, we can talk about Elden Ring, but you're not an OG.
Yeah.
Like, Elden Ring's like, that was like mainstream, I mean, my son's played them all.
That's true.
I love it. My son's played all these games. He played Elden Ring first. He loved it. He went back and played all these other ones. And I was like, yeah, what do you think? And he's like, dude, these games suck. I was like, I know. But he loves them now. But it's like, people in our friends group, I want you to feel the same way that I do about the Soulsborne games. I want you to have that. I want you to get that aha moment. I don't want to force you to do it. I want you to have that moment where you're like, dude, these games are fucking awesome. Because if you digest it, and you do it yourself, I feel like maybe that's what it is. Because I didn't have any influence over it. I found it myself. Maybe that's why I feel like it's very personal to me. Even though it's popular, like it's very popular, but I think that's probably the same thing with Sleep Token. You checked them out. You were doing this learning all on your own. You know, you didn't have anybody else telling you. You were like, oh my gosh, dude, this website, I need to check this out. Follow this community, all this stuff. Like you learn this on your own. You put the work into it. Like you put the discovery into it, if that makes sense. And I think that's where it's like different. Like even if you do like it, you're never gonna love it like I do. Even if I say, hey,
Yeah.
man, I really do like Sleep Token, I don't think I'm ever gonna love it like you do. And 99% of the population.
Yeah, and maybe that's it too. I feel like maybe that also, maybe does that leave a sour taste in your mouth that it just feels like it's like overdone? You think like at this point where you're seeing so many people talk about it, and maybe a lot of people feel this way too, that it's just like, and I, you know, for me, and I don't want to draw parallels because it's completely different music, but like when Slipknot came out, and I know you liked Slipknot, but there was a lot of like friends that bashed me for liking Slipknot, where it's like, oh, those bunch of pose, and here I am listening to still as a young kid, like Slayer and Testament. Like, dude, but these guys rock. Like, but it and I don't know if it's just because Slipknot blew up so quickly that it like then left a sour taste in people's mouth. It's like, why do you listen to that garbage? But
I mean, selling out isn't fun. Like, I mean, selling out is great. Now that I'm older and I understand it, dude, I don't give a shit if you sell out or not. Like, as long as you keep sounding good, I could care less. Architects, man, like they came out with that. They came out that one album after Holy Hell. Oh gosh, the one with the astronaut on the front in the church.
Yeah.
And like I heard it and I was like, dude, I don't like this album at all. But then I kept listening to it and I was like, actually, this album kind of fucking slaps. Like it was what I needed when I wanted to listen to it. It was different from everything else. And it's a great album. But I mean, their next one wasn't that great. But I think if you do it well, you know, even if I don't like it, I'm still going to give you credit for, you know, I'm always going to give you credit where credit's due. Dave Matthews Band, I fucking hate those guys, but they're talented as shit. And those guys are amazing, you know, musicians, hands down. But I'm not going to fucking listen to them. I mean, I guess that's what I'm saying. Growing up, you learn, you're okay with things like that. When you're younger, the whole Slipknot time, dude, trust me. You want to talk about Slipknot? Dude, I was a fan of Blink-182 and Cheshire Cat and Dude Ranch was a thing. And then fucking Enema of the State comes out with What's My Age Again, and everyone and their fucking brother is like, yeah, Blink-182, man, yeah. And I'm like, you fucking sellouts. I was pissed. I was like, what about Damn It and Carousel? Like all these other songs. Travis Barker sucks. Dude, I swear to God, that's how I was back in fucking, what, 7th, 8th grade. I was like, these guys suck now. Didn't even buy the next album, even though it's the best album they ever recorded. Take Off Your Pants and Jacket is their best fucking album, and I completely overlooked it. I was like, fuck these guys. I'm gonna listen to real punk now. Oh, but anyways, yeah, I think that's, you know, as you grow older, I think you're okay with that. But I think it's also, like I said, it's just the passion that you have for Sleep Token. It's like a movie. Like, what's a movie that you love? What's one of your favorite movies? Putting you on the spot. Quick.
Favorite movies? I mean, Saving Private Ryan. What's the name off the top? Interstellar.
Like, no, what's a movie that changed your life? Like a movie that changed your life. They were like, oh my God, dude, this is like the best fucking movie I've ever seen in my life.
The Matrix.
I think it's okay. I think it's all right.
That movie's like left a mark on me, for sure.
But it's the same thing. You're passionate about that, right?
Oh yeah.
I think it's good. I think just the first one's good.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't want to get.
We'll do another discussion on movies, but
well, I'm saying there's, and I can even say that with like the follow-ups, but when that movie, They could have left it at that.
Have you seen The Thing? John Carpenter's The Thing?
Oh yeah.
That's the best horror movie ever made. Would you agree? Oh no, it's amazing. Practical effects, it's fucking awesome.
It's great. It's good.
The ending is, it's amazing. But see, that's the thing. I'm passionate for it because I have memories behind it. I've done I've done a deep lore dive on the Thing like series and like the comic that came out. Like I've done like a deep dive on it. But I think that's the same thing. It's like we could watch that movie together, you would say, dude, this is a really good movie. And I'm like, no, dude, it's the best movie. I think that's where I just don't know if you can ever force someone to love something that as much as you do, right?
I mean, that's what makes us all unique, man. I think that's what makes us, it's a human element that really makes us, you know, that there's just never going to be, you'll never be able to experience what somebody else went through in their head, and maybe it ties to how they think or things that affected them certainly, and you know, that touched them away in like a point in their life, or like all these aspects that draw things to why we like them. But without getting, you know, too deep into the subject, but I think that's just human nature where, and I know we've talked about this before, it's like you want somebody to love something as much as you did, but I don't think that that's possible unless maybe somebody's drawn. I mean, you guys can always, there can always, I mean, we agree on a lot of things, we love a lot of things, but I think there's going to be those aspects where something just touches you a little bit differently because maybe there was an emotional aspect that tied you to it more so than like that other person has experienced, or you interpret it a certain way that this other person can't interpret it because it just hits you different, you know, like if that makes sense. I just don't think, like, and that's what makes us, again, that's just kind of what makes us human. But I can see the appreciation for it, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm not gonna be like, oh, because you like that, you suck, or that sucks. But no, I mean, I can see it, why it's a good movie, and like why.
No, it's the best movie. It's the best horror movie.
No, it's the best.
So but, I would say, so let's do this, Mike. If Joe Schmo, 17-year-old kid, is listening to this podcast, hopefully you're not, or you get your parents' permission, and they wanted to learn more about Sleep Token, where's a good place to start?
If you want it, I mean, for me, and it was kind of my spiral, start with Take Me Back to Eden. I think that's a good point of reference. It kind of gives you the full effect of what Sleep Token is now. And I know for a lot of people, this kind of is with games too, where it's like you play a game and oh, let me go back and play these other games. You know, where you kind of go backwards. The back catalog. I think you'll get, for most people, you'll get the full scope, the full effect of what they're bringing to the table. And if that doesn't do it for you, then maybe Sleep Token isn't for you. But I think that's really, really a good starting point. And if it's something you dig to a certain degree, where it's like, oh, you know, I can get into this, and it starts hooking you, sinking its teeth into you, then start from sundowning into the next album, into the next, and then be ready for even an Arcadia, which drops in about a month. I have it on a timer on Spotify. Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Did you get tickets? Because those pre-sales sold out. Did you get tickets? You did, didn't you?
So I found a meme online.
How many dollars?
I'm just gonna. I can't. I'm not gonna put. So I got.
I'm not at liberty to discuss.
I did do a 4-payment interest-free plan to get it knocked down, and you know, by no means am I.
This man's opening credit cards.
I make okay money, but anyway, yeah. the meme was out there that was how did it go? It was from the Avengers.
Thanos.
What's the scene? Yeah,
Sleep token.
Thanos and then and what's his
Gamora
daughter
as a kid.
Gamora. It's like, and it was like, did you get the sleep token tickets? He's like, yes. I was like, but what did it cost? He's like, everything.
Dude, that's like the
and
most
he just looks
cathartic.
distraught.
That's like the most cathartic line in that movie. He's just everything. Like
Everything.
he becomes human at that point. Like he becomes grounded at that point. It's
Yeah.
just everything. Like you see the tears.
When I clicked that buy button, that was me. Everything. Depleted everything. No, but I did get them. So
well, good, man. I hope you have. I hope you have a good
go in.
time. I hope you have a good time, man. Really, be safe. Have a good time. I would say if anybody wants to start on Dark Souls stuff, dude, pick your poison.
Where do I start?
Elden Ring. Elden Ring is definitely the easiest to get into. Going back is going to be hard because of the quality of life stuff. There's going to be things in the first Dark Souls, even in the remake that they did or the remaster they did. They're still like, oh God, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to click these items one at a time instead of just grouping them together? Those kind of things. But
so are you
and
saying I
Vaki
should
Vidya,
give it a
man.
shot again?
You know what, Mike? I'm here to tell you, I'm never going to push you to do it anymore. After listening to how you feel about Sleep Token and knowing that, I think just knowing that there's, and I don't want to say a wall, but you know what? If I listen to Sleep Token, I'll listen to it. If you play any of the Souls games, you'll play them. And if they're not your cup of tea, they're never your cup of tea. That's okay. But I'll tell you when these new
middle
games...
ground. I'll see you on schedule 1, my boy.
Oh, there you go. There we go. You know what? Let's just how about we settle this by slinging some meth, okay? Does that make you feel a little better?
I gotta get Benji some stuff.
Benji is going crazy. So, Mike, before we go, I do have a mailbag. Your favorite person sent you a question if you were willing to answer it. We have a couple minutes. We're good.
Oh man, I might need to pour a little bit of drink for this. I feel distraught. I feel like I'm getting ready to jump into Dark Souls.
Oh, I was drinking before this. I'm feeling good right now. I'm
drinking again.
Oh yeah, he's been drinking again, boys. We're
Let me take a guess here. Man. Is this Daryl from West Virginia?
This is
This
is Daryl from West Virginia. It is. You want to answer? It's pretty weird.
Let's go for it. I mean, what has it been so far?
He says, Mike, he wants to know if you can buy dwarf bones online legally.
Dwarf bones? Is that even... Can we say that? Dwarf is, I think...
Not dwarfism. Like, we're talking about, like, dwarves, like gnomes.
Gnomes, like, legitimate, like...
We're not talking about little people bones.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he might, but that's not what I'm not taking it as that. That would be... That's murder.
I mean, it's not if they're already dead.
But he can't steal their bones. He said, I wondered it is, can you buy dwarf bones online legally? A 4. Legally a 4.
You know, they took down the Silk Road a long time ago, and you could pretty much buy everything on there. And there may have been dwarf bone. It might be really hard in this day and age, and given our current climate of where we're at in society, be it, long story short, no, I don't think we can get dwarf bones online anymore.
I don't think we can. Not any. At one point, I guess we could. He also wants to know if you wanted to join his red jumpsuit apparatus online message board.
Send me the invite ASAP. I can't fucking fathom enough how deeply I need to be part of that. And I hope it's one of those B boards from back in like red jumpsuit apparatus.bboard.com/.angelfire.
Yep. It's a live journal.
Ooh.
All right. And last but not least, this was like a 3-parter, I guess.
Okay.
He said, I'm going to read this verbatim. I'm going to read this verbatim. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try my hardest not to laugh because this guy fucking cracks me up. Like, he's weird. He's strange, but no idea why we have one friend that sends these in every single time. I've been saving these over the past couple weeks. And he says, and I guess my last question, I always wondered before, is it wrong per se to be sexually attracted to Dale Earnhardt's car wreck?
Ooh.
I'm going to answer that one. I'm going to go on a limb and say no. That's not okay. First off, my parents loved Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, how would your Pops feel about this?
Dude, Pops would be fucking pissed, dude. Dude, Pops would be real fucking angry right now. Him and Jeff Gordon, dude, he's...
Him and Jeff I don't Gordon, know if I have an answer for that one.
Jeff Gordon. All I remember in our household, it was fuck Rusty Wallace, man. That's all I remember. It was Earnhardt. God bless that saint. My dad has a shrine of Dale Earnhardt next to his shrine of Judas Priest. I kid you not.
Oh wow!
You talk about Southern, dude. That's my dad.
What's like the Earnhardt? Like, there's like a saying, like a pretty NASCAR famous.
Oh, like his nickname?
No, not the nickname. And they're like kind of like the
Intimidator.
Like a slogan. What is the Intimidator? Yes, I know that. I thought could be wrong. I thought there was like some little like catchy phrase or something like that.
If you're not first, you're last.
No. It's a great movie though.
Remember when I told you that, boy? Hell, you could be third, you could be fourth. It doesn't matter. Like, I just told you that. Shut you up. Fucking Applebee's, man. What a great movie.
That's a great movie. So yeah, Daryl, thank you for being our one true fan here.
Yeah,
we don't get too many questions.
He gets a 5-minute segment. We don't get any questions except from Daryl and Rob. Yeah. Rob from Arkansas.
Is he?
He sent something.
Did he?
Yeah. Sent it a couple weeks ago.
He
was talking about, I guess grounded. He had this, he was using this gel. He showed this gel off. Pull Dicky
gels.
Pull Dicky gel. Yeah, to like clean. And he said, I really like it until I realize I use it just for fecal matter and other nasty stuff. He's a little off-putting.
There's something wrong with these humans.
Yeah.
Is there anybody normal in this show?
No. God bless America. Because
I'll take it.
what else are we going to do?
Nothing. I'll take it.
All right, everybody. Mike, do you want to go ahead and do you want to take us out?
Yeah, I'll take us out here. So, as always, guys, thank you for listening. Yeah, let me get my little sippy poo here. Kevin, thank you for your input on Dark Souls, and
thanks, man. Thanks for opening up more to me about Sleep Token. I like that.
And I think if we ever want to explore both, we know who to ask for each category here. If I need to get into Dark Souls and Elden Ring, or if you want to delve into the worship as the people call it, I'm also willing to open up and explain. But thank you guys for listening to the podcast. As always, down at the bottom over here, and for our listeners, check us out on TikTok, 8bit dot breakdown.
Yep.
And 8bit.breakdown on Instagram. Check us out on Spotify. Check us out on Apple Podcasts. Check us out on YouTube. If you just type in 8-bit breakdown, I'm sure you'll see us on there. But on that note, guys, as always, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, take care.
Bye, guys.